Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your frontier services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Who remembers a film called Eagle's Wing? I'm waiting. Yes. There's a few of you that know it. It's a British Western. A British funded, British directed Western from 1979. It's a film that I saw, it came out in 79, it met with a resounding defeat at the box office, but we'll talk about that later. It wasn't the film's fault, critics loved it, and I saw it on British terrestrial TV, and because I was into movies, as you guys well know, from a very tender age, and the write-up, I thought, an Indian and a fair trapper duel over a fabulous white stallion, much deaths and action aplenty. I thought, I'm having that. So on my little Betamax, VTC 5000 with black and white freeze frame and black and white picture search with noise bars, I recorded it and I loved it. I watched it a lot when I was a kid, an early teen, and it moved me quite a lot. And then many years went by, and obviously that Betamax tape went nowhere. Couldn't ever really find a proper copy of it anywhere. I simply couldn't, until many decades later. And then you can see the cover for the UK DVD release, and there is a Blu-ray out there somewhere, but it's eluded me so far. I've not got it. It's on YouTube. I will put the link to the film on YouTube. It's in reasonable quality, I think it is. So I'll put the link to that below. But it's a film which is neglected, forgotten about. It's spoken about in certain hushed corners of pubs and saloons, and haciendas, and have you seen Eagle's Wing? Psst, he's seen Eagle's Wing. So you go over like, what ho? And he goes, what ho? What ho is a phrase from the movie. And it's a phrase that I purloined from the film itself. What ho is it's an English greeting and a challenge at the same time. But the Irish use it, the Scottish use it, everyone's used it. And of course America in this, the film is set in, they don't specify it, but I'll give my reasons why I think it's in the 1860s, after the American Civil War, but just predating the American Indian Wars. So expansion is happening. The Oregon Trail was many decades before, but it was there were a lot more people on it. But that's not about the Oregon Trail. It's just the sort of time period and the weapons that are being used. They're percussion weapons, Remingtons and Sharps, but they're percussion. None of your Winchesters and all that kind of stuff. And the expansion is, it's not detailed. You've got no time reference for it. But looking at the clothes and the weapons, I'm going 1867, 68, maybe. But I love the movie. I think it's an incredibly profound piece of filmmaking. Also quite badly flawed, but not by anyone that made it, but by Rank Film Organisation. They came in after the event and then chopped and changed things around and took bits out and put bits back in which weren't meant to be there, and it made the film a kind of strange elegiac sort of dark pastoral. I'm going to read you something out now. On the front of this DVD cover, right, you have a quote which is from the time that the hype that the distribution company Rank put out there, and it says, "The West, the way it really was before the myths were born." Bullshit. This film is entirely not the way the West was. It's authentic in costumes, clothing, weaponry, maybe attitudes, but this film is entirely mythical. It's built around campfire tales, the way that Native Americans they wouldn't write things down, pictographs maybe, but they would tell stories to their descendants and then their descendants and their descendants by word of mouth, sitting around a campfire, and they'd tell stories. And this is exactly the sort of story that they would tell, and it's myth, it's pure myth, but it's built around something which would be kind of real. The horse. The horse is the thing which propelled man across America. All of North America was owned by people that could ride horses. You had horses, then you could go anywhere you wanted to. You had power, and this film is about that. The writer, Michael Sison, wrote the story. Michael Sison, but the screenplay is by John Briley. John Briley won an Oscar for Gandhi, and there's more connections between this film and Gandhi beyond the screenwriter. But the story was about how man prioritizes commodities and materialistic things over what really matters. So, and the film does put this across pretty well once you've seen it a couple of times. There's a fair bit of ambiguity going on about it as well. But what they're on about is like, we don't need that. You're coveting that. You don't really need it. Why are you going to fight over this? But this film is about the duel over this fabulous white stallion. We don't know where it's come from. Some reviews say it's an Arabian horse called White Eagle. Eagle's wing, White Eagle. Where did I get that from? Kilty, you forgot the name of the movie you're talking about. But it's not. You don't find that out at all. And our main character surmises, where did you come from? You're Spanish. You've got to be Spanish. You're a Spanish horse, yeah. And of course, a lot of the horses did come from Spain. They were shipped to the Americas. But this commodity thing, this sort of idea, like possessions. Why do we fight over possessions? Why did he mean so much to us? A horse back in that day and age meant everything to everybody. It was your means of getting around. It was everything to you. The Indians loved the horses and became horse masters, of course. And like the white man came in and obviously used horses and then took over. But there's a lot more going on there, of course. And I'm wearing this US Cavalry tunic for a reason. And, yes. But you all know my fascination with US Cavalry, Custer, and the Indian Wars. But this film and story predates all of that. It's set between the American Civil War and the Indian Wars. So, you've done a massive preamble there, Kilty, but tell us about the movie. So, spoilers ahead. What a great cast, unbelievably. You've got Martin Sheen, Apocalypse Now, West Wing. You've got Sam Waterston, The Killing Fields, another Oscar-winning movie. Well, and Apocalypse Now. You've got Harvey Keitel. These are all really awesomely focused actors who could be problematic as well. Harvey Keitel, I'm looking at you, sir. But it's a great, wonderful cast. It's an international cast. You have British actors and actresses there as well, and Spanish and Mexican actors too. So it's across the board, but it's a British movie. The director is British, cinematographer is British, and he won an award. Cinematographer is Billy Williams. Willie Williams. He won an award for this particular movie, but he won an Oscar for Gandhi. So, the pedigree is bloody huge for this movie, and it's such a low-key film. So, right, this horse, Eagle's Wing, is sought after by everybody. The film tells several different stories, which all will collide together in violence and destruction. You have two fair trappers who are about to make a trade with Comanches. They work for a company, and they're out there. It's Harvey Keitel and it's Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen plays Pike, and Harvey Keitel plays Henry. And Henry's done this before. Henry's a seasoned pro. Martin Sheen's character Pike is a little bit, you know, we don't know what he's capable of, and he's the main character, by the way. Just to let you know about that. So they're going to go out to meet Comanche and do some trading. However, the Comanche they're meant to meet get intercepted en route by a bunch of renegade Kiowa warriors. And amongst them, you've got Sam Waterston playing White Bull, who is a complete and utter nutty job. Does his own thing, doesn't really care. But they see this fabulous eagle's wing white stallion, and they all want this horse, and they kill the Comanche, some of the Comanche, and they kill the chieftain, the war chief of the Comanche, who's going to make this meeting with our two fair trappers. And they put arrows into him, and the horse bolts, and they can't catch the horse. But Sam Waterston as White Bull is like, you know, I want that bloody horse. I want one. He doesn't say that. I want that bloody horse. That bloody horse there. I want it. Oh, he does. Like, where the hell are you from? You're fucking Kiowa, you know. Anyway. So you've got that strand. They want the horse. Horse is gone. You've got the fair trappers. The fair trappers and our two boys in the first sort of 10-15 minutes. That's all Harvey Keitel lasts for. You get to know them in little sound bites, little campfires, and at first they're not particularly friendly with each other. Martin Sheen's character Pike wears a US cavalry jacket. He has a US cavalry saber. He wears US cavalry boots. And he has a hat which I have tried to identify. It's in the same blue as his tunic, the North and the US cavalry, but it's like a slouch engineer's wheel hat. If you don't know what they are, they're the railroad hats. Civil War hats. They were kepis and shakos. Some were like the forward dome sort of thing, and would flop around, horrible looking things. But the ones you always need with the little kepi sort of style, you know, nice and rigid. He's not wearing those. But that hat is military, and I have spent ages trying to find what that hat is, and I do think it's a wheel hat. It's a mechanic's hat, or even a clerk's hat, because it's slouchy, but it's got like a peak on it. It's military looking. It's almost like they've took the all the rigidity out of a kepi, and it's just gone like bloof and fallen down. But he wears that, and the two of them talk about like Harvey Keitel saying to him like so when they kicked you out of the army, and like he's teasing him, and this rendezvous with the Comanche doesn't happen. The Comanche don't make it because they've been attacked by the Kiowa. So, and they're like, well, you know, they're not going to make it here. And they've got like a bit of a parlay. They've got like barrels of whiskey on the side of a mule. Did I say whiskey there? I've got some Chivas Regal here. Cheers, you all. Parlay, yeah. Get a bit of trading done, you know. Do a little business, make a little money. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. So Martin Sheen siphons off a little bit. Well, they're not going to make it here. And like Harvey Keitel's character Henry has done this sort of run several times, and like you're not taking this seriously. So the two of them, you know, it gives them a punch. You know, that's when we have, you know, a treaty. That's to ease the deal. And it's like, well, they're not even it. Bang, hits him like, and the two of them square off. But you know that Keitel will beat Martin Sheen every time. Like, so, but Harvey Keitel is brilliant in this. He said, like, look, I've come out to do a job. I want to make money out of this. That's why I'm here. But I know what's out here. I've met people like you before. You come from the East and like you start drinking in the morning. I can't knock that. You start drinking in the mornings because you can't take it out there. And then you come out West thinking you can take it. And you can't do it. It's far worse out here. But you think you can do it. And he's seen him drinking already. So he sucker punches him. But then he offers his hand. This hand's not a fist. I want to shake your hand. Let's be friends. And they do become friends. And you get like a lovely sort of couple of sequences afterwards where the two of them are bonding. There's a nighttime campfire sequence where you hear coyotes howling in the near distance, like in the darkness. And like obviously Keitel, Henry, is like really nervous because he knows what could be out there. And like he goes, it's coyotes, and Martin Sheen goes, it's coyotes. And Harvey Keitel just goes like, yeah, it sounds like coyotes. And then Martin Sheen stands up brazenly, gets his saber out and all that. And you do see coyotes, so he goes, starts throwing stones at him to scare him off. Like he said, see, it's coyotes. And Harvey Keitel just goes like, well, I did say it sounded like coyotes. And the two start laughing, and it's a really lovely moment. It's a really genuinely character-based moment which works so well. And the campfire's there, and the two of them lie back, and oh boy, Martin Sheen puts like a bandana around his face and pulls it down, gets snuggled up like that, and you just know he's going to come out with a confession because he's been ribbed about this US cavalry thing. The cavalry kicked you out and all that, and he pulls the bandana down over his mouth. He goes like, I was never in the cavalry. I was a regular foot soldier. I stole the saber. Possessions, the need to have a possession, right? So he stole the saber. You can guarantee he stole the cavalry boots as well. And then they speak like so. Then it's like a little confession moment. And then like the next day they're going to they're gonna go fishing, and they're saying like well, why are you out here then? What are you hiding from? And like Keitel's going like, well no, I just want to make money out of here. I know I can do this. It's a good job. The company pays well, so I'm happy doing this. But why are you out here? What are you running from? Oh, I just don't want to shine anyone else's boots anymore. And out here, I want to be my own man, make my own way in life, which of course is exactly what happened. And it's an admirable sort of trait. I wish the world existed like that now, that there was a frontier that could be explored. They've made it so hard to explore frontiers now and to be your own man, woman, whatever you want to be. But it's hard to do that now. So, and the two are getting on, and they're fishing and all that, and in a great sort of foretelling moment, they get the line across the creek. Keitel's on one side, Sheen's on the other, and they've got the line, and they catch something. It's like, yeah, what ho, we've got it, yo. And he gets the fish up, but Martin Sheen falls off the rock, topless, with his braces on, into the water. It's like, son of a bitch, god damn it. And they're all laughing. It's a great moment of brevity. And then you hear, whoosh, like Keitel just goes like, looks at his arm, and there's a graze from an arrow that's gone past his forearm. And it's like Martin Sheen's going like, well, what's happening? He's like, Indians. So they get attacked, and Keitel gets killed. He gets another couple of arrows into him as he's trying to lead his horse across the stream, and he dies on the rocks on the other side. And but in a great little moment, Martin Sheen's pike again draws his saber and stands in the water topless, stand and fight, you cowards, because the Indians, Sam Waterston again, and this renegade pack of Kiowa have happened upon these people, and they nick their horses and take all their gear. They've killed Henry and left Pike alive. I think Pike buries Henry, says a prayer for him, and all he's left with is the mule, the pack mule that they had. So off he goes with the pack mule, and he's lost his cavalry tunic as well. And he was stumbled upon the funeral ritual of the Indian war chief, the Comanche they were meant to meet, which was killed by Sam Waterston and his mob. And it's a really bizarre sequence. There's all the high-rise funeral pyres of previously deceased Comanche warlords, chieftains, and medicine men, perhaps. Cheers, y'all. And you have a medicine man giving it loads there, chanting and laughing, and not laughing, I don't know why I said that, chanting and, you know, giving all the ululations and all that. And there's a woman there whose their faces are all painted, and they've got the horse. Eagle's wing is there, and they're going to sacrifice, obviously, the body of the chieftain's there, and they're going to sacrifice the horse and maybe the girl as well. I'm never too sure about this. This medicine man makes her sort of rip her forearms open with this forked bone, and she's like screaming. But Martin Sheen is now on his pack mule, has stumbled across it, and he's got like watching behind the rocks, but he sees the horse, and he's like, that horse is amazing. You know, you can't kill that horse. I want that horse. Possessions all over again. So he will blunder into this, and like he has a sharp sort of Remington percussion. I can't quite tell. You know me and firearms, I love to get it right, and I can't. In this film, I really can't tell. It's percussion. It's certainly 1860s, I would say. It could be a Sharps, it could be a Remington. It's one or the other. But he comes like, I don't want to hurt anyone. Don't want to hurt anyone at all. Like, I just want to take that horse. Don't kill that horse. Because, you know, if you're afraid, I'm more afraid than you guys are, basically. And but the Indian medicine man goes for him, and the horse breaks free from its tied up reins and all that, and it beats down with its hooves the medicine man and stamps on his head and kills him. And of course, Martin Sheen didn't want any of this to happen. He's like, oh God, I didn't want this. I just want the horse, you know, and like save its life, and because I want this horse is fucking amazing. So he takes the horse anyway, and then he learns to ride. He has to break the horse in. Obviously, the horse has been broken because the Indians have been riding it, but he has to get to know the horse. So you get like a nice playful scene of him learning to ride the horse and getting thrown off it a couple of times. In the meantime, the other strand of the story, you've got a funeral cortege heading across the desert. By the way, I should say now, this entire film is lensed and shot in Durango, in Mexico. They wanted a place that looked not like the John Ford westerns, a place that looked alien and inhospitable, and totally not like, this is what the director said, and the cinematographer, the award-winning cinematographer, Billy Williams, said like, anything, it had to look completely opposite from David Lean's movies. No majestic sunrises and sunsets, no vast sweeping majestic landscapes. Well, I kind of get them. This film looks astonishing. That's why it won awards for its photography. It looks amazing. The landscapes are truly breathtaking. They are unusual. Boulder parks, lots of vast plains where they're not beautiful to look at. They're kind of like dusty. Well, you expect that dusty grey and a bit of like wispy sort of foliage. It doesn't look massively hospitable. Because he said, like the director, he said, I wanted it to look like the surface of the moon. It had to look alien, inhospitable, and alienated. So you felt alone in the vast landscape under a big ominous sky, not a gorgeously blue vista. You have got that. You've got lovely cloud play, and you've got lovely blue skies. But you do get lots of these ominous sort of grey, bizarre, sort of frightening sort of night skies, like the scene where I just described, where where Pike takes the horse and the medicine man gets killed under the horse's hooves. That sky and that landscape looks absolutely really sepulchral and bizarre and really surreal. So anyway, this other thing, the funeral cortege going across the desert. This is a Mexican woman going back to her hacienda with the corpse of her dead husband in the carriage in front, the hearse, and she's there with her handmaidens, let's call them that, and an Irish priest and his sister. The Irish priest is played by Michael Castle. I think it's Michael Castle. Let's get that right. John Castle, who was in The Lion in Winter, which this director had done previously. Classic movie. Terrific John Barry score. And his sister is played by Caroline Langrish, who plays Judith. Now, she is incredibly gorgeous. Really, really beautiful woman. And as well as making this movie, she made some other British movies, and she was in a lot of British TV shows too. So at the time when I first saw this movie on TV and recorded it, I knew who she was. Well, I recognised her face, put it that way. And her brother, John Castle, he's got a tremendously cinematic face. He won't like me for saying this, but I've got a friend. Yeah, I say friend. He was a friend for a long time, and then I got really annoyed with him and fed up with him. And his name is John Fazakerly. Oh, I've said it out loud. John Faz, the Faz man. Well, he looks just like him when John Faz was a lot younger. But it's a great cinematic face, and they're Irish, an Irish brother and sister, and obviously they're going out there to look after this funeral rites and all that, and they're going to work for. Let's work this out. The widow, as the sister Judith says, like yeah, she's really heartbroken because I saw her she was so heartbroken she was having fun with somebody else. Anyway, in the whole twisted sort of scenario, and but they're going to be looked after, and he's saying to it, it's quite an acerbic relationship that the two have got. Like, listen, Judith, and I'm not doing the Irish accent. Listen, Judith, you want to be a bit more careful what you say, because these people are going to look after me, and they're going to look after me, in which case I can then look after you. So like they've pushed out into the territory, and they left the hacienda the night before. The wake was the night before, and then they're going to transport the body back to, I think, their home. I don't know. And but they've got all riches on board the two carriages. They've got all donations and jewels and all sorts of treasures. And who stumbles across them? Yes, you guessed it. Yeah, Sam Waterston and the Kiowa band of warriors, the renegade bastards. And they charge up and they put lances into the air, the wagon wheels, spin the whole thing over. They kill the drivers, the coffin comes out. The guy that's driving the actual hearse, he's an Italian actor, or Mexican actor, I think Italian. He's got like a horrible glassy eye, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what I've seen him in before. I've got a feeling maybe Michael Winner's, oh God, what's it called? The Sentinel. Maybe he's in that. He's not in The Omen. He's not the guy with the sort of burnt face and glassy eye. He's not in The Omen, but he's in horror movies because of this bizarre eye. He looks ridiculous. He looks sinister and strange. But he gets, just say a word, gets killed. Poof, gone. There you go. And a couple of people get killed, arrows through the neck, and they're taken out. And the massacre you think is going to happen doesn't take place. The Kiowa just go like, okay, look, they know that Sam Waterston, White Bull, is a bit of a loose cannon as far as they're concerned. So their sort of war party leader just goes like, you, doesn't say it, just points, you deal with this, and they fuck off across the desert. So they leave him. So our other main character, don't forget, Harvey Keitel is now gone. He's massively, hugely on the posters for this movie across the board. But he's only in it for the first, 12 minutes. That's it. Then he's killed. He makes an impact, but then he's gone. So it's Martin Sheen and it's then Sam Waterston. Sam Waterston is not Native American. He's English and Scottish heritage. And, we're talking about, he's actually wonderful in this movie. Wonderful. It doesn't say a single word. He will chant and he'll sing drunkenly at one stage, but he won't say a single word at all throughout the entire film. Well, he stays there like, and he's now wearing Martin Sheen's cavalry tunic, because obviously they did the raid on the two trappers. So he pulls everybody out and he makes them undress and he gets all the trinkets and jewels off them all. Judith attempts to take him out with I think his own war axe behind his head, and he manages to catch her and throw her down. He ties her up, he makes a travail behind the back of the horses, and he gets all the good stuff, all the shiny trinkets, everything that's worth something. He gets all of that, like, leaves them behind. The widow, who's got, I didn't write her name down, I should have done. Her name is Stephanie Audran, or Stephanie Audran, and yeah, she's lovely. Older but lovely, and there's no sexual suggestion at all. Really, there isn't. He makes them take the rings off and the jewellery off, and she takes her earrings off, and he just stands there. He opens a trinket box, like, put them in now. But you notice there's obviously a necklace, going down there somewhere. So he puts his knife out, like, on this. So the two handmaidens take her outer robe off, and she's got like tons and tons of, like, big ballooning white gowns underneath the undergarments. It's not sexual. You might think it's going to be, but it doesn't do it. Kind of clever that way, I suppose. And like they take this fabulous trinket, this necklace, huge golden orb with a big gemstone in it. Take that off her, give it to him, and then and he takes Judith, the sister. He takes her with him, and off he goes. And like she's gone, like, to her brother, gonna help me, what? And he's just like, what he does do. He takes a horse and he rides off to the hacienda where they've just been previously, where this guy, the guy who's dead, and obviously the wife, the widow, they're all known there, to get help to go and bring them back to safety. So he has his own little unseen odyssey to go and get help. Sam Waterston, White Bull, goes off with Judith, Caroline Langrish, and off they go. And that's it. In the meantime, some of our Comanche people who were meant to meet with there's a few other Comanches as well, find the trampled body of the medicine man, and like the horse is gone, and that a woman who's going to be sacrificed as well. She obviously explains to them, and so they realise horse is gone, bastards are out there, let's go after them. And there's just two of them, so off they go. So you've got this topsy-turvy little lots of different people on their own little missions. But Martin Sheen's got the horse, he's got Eagle's Wing. And he's sitting there by a tree, and he's talking to the horse, and his weapon's primed as well. I like this because you would not have a campfire, even in daylight, with a huge landscape. Anything can creep up on you, as happens here. Your weapon's always primed. Obviously, in modern day, your weapon's it's always an arm's distance away from you. It's always, you can reach it straight away, and it's going to be fully loaded and ready to go, But back in those days, they took one shot, and then you've got to do it all over again. But it's going to be ready for that first shot. So it's there. And in a great sequence, a great action comedy sequence, in a way. He's singing, oh God, I forgot the name of the song now. And he's talking to the horse, he's saying, where are you from? I think you're Spanish. You're Spanish, aren't you? And he starts speaking Spanish to it, and he starts singing this song, and then the horse whinnies, and he knows this is broad daylight, lovely horizon landscape and all that, and this looked like a almost Conan style tree of woe that he's sitting beneath, and he turns around, he's like, he knows, looks around, and just goes, oh shit, because there's Sam Waterston as the Indian on his horse, because he's recognised that horse and he wants it, and he's there, and he's like, oh shit, you know, and you've got this great moment. Suddenly Sam Waterston, White Bull, just fucking charges towards him. So Martin Sheen just gets up, and as he gets up, he kicks his gun over, which fires the shot. Who's fired his only shot there, and the horse bolts. You know, eagle's wing bolts. So he's like, oh fucking hell, he has to run after the bastard. And this Indian's coming down, bearing down on him, and he manages to get on the horse and like completely outstrip him. And like Sam Waterston's White Bull is just like in awe at the speed of this horse. And he's like, you know, he fires an arrow, and like it goes nowhere near because he can outrun it. And like Martin Sheen's teasing him like shoot all your little sticks, my heathen friend, you know, shoot them all, you know, I'll lead you a merry chase, my friend, right down the barrel of my gun. And then he sees that he goes, son of a bitch, heathens wearing my coat. These are the heathens that killed Henry. He realises again, possessions. It's what the story was built around. Just idea about possessions in the frontier, the wild frontier. And how things mean something. He spots that like, yeah, it's my fucking coat, you know. So, and I should say that after he lost his coat, Harvey Keitel was wearing buckskins, lovely, fantastic buckskins. So obviously he's dead, doesn't need them anymore. So Martin Sheen, who was topless when the raid took place on them, he has took Harvey Keitel's, Henry's buckskin jacket. So he's got that on. But so it's possessions being carried on. It's not massively the point of. It was meant to be the point of the movie. And I think only with repeated viewings do you really get what's happening there. And as I've always said, a great film bears repeated viewings and unveils more. Like an onion, you peel more, it's another layer, another layer, another layer. And this film very definitely does that. So, you know, he's teasing him and all that, like, and poor old Sam Waterston can't catch up with him. So, like, you know, he's telling him, like, you know, you want to catch me? You need to sprout wings. You know, like some kind of bird. Gobble, gobble, gobble. And Sam Waterston just goes, fuck off, and starts going for him. He goes, oh shit, again. And completely outpaces him and goes back to the tree, gets his gun, primes his weapon, and is about to. If you look at this movie, the way that Martin Sheen holds that rifle is very unusual. The way he brings it up to bear, it's like he's bringing up an old-fashioned telescope. When you hold, you know, the forestock of a rifle, any weapon, you know, you obviously all your doodabs down here, and your hand is like that. It's not what Martin Sheen does. Martin Sheen, it's like he's playing snooker or pool. He holds it in the crook of his thumb and his finger, and it's a strange thing. I know certain people like to shoot like that. Snipers learn to use different hand formations to hold and grip and support a weapon. But in a movie like that, and it's shown in such great detail that he brings it up, and it's just such a strange way of doing it. It looks like he's kind of doing. Anyway, it's a strange thing. But Sam Waterston doesn't go anywhere. He pulls to a halt, doesn't go any near it, and like just fucks up. And it kind of. So these two now know each other, and the rest of the film will be mainly about those two and their quest to keep this horse. So, what happens next then? Well, Sam Waterston's got this woman, Caroline Langerish, Judith, and he's put a rope around her neck and all that. He's not hurt her. He's not been especially genteel, but he hasn't hurt her. he's not cruel at all. He's not cruel. He likes a bevy. He likes a bevy. Does our white bull. He doesn't drink Red Bull, you know. But so he finds bottles of whiskey and he breaks the necks off them and glug glug glug. But then he gives it to her. We've already learned when she was talking to her brother that, you know, that she can have a drink and and she can't speak. She can speak a little bit of Mexican, but she goes, I know more Mexican than they know English. And you can tell him from me that next time he's in Dublin, I'll buy him a jar. You know, and there's little snippets like this. So from the broken bottle, she necks a load of whiskey. I know someone's going, it's wine. No, it's pure firewater. They're making reference to Indians drinking firewater, not drinking wine. They're not. So, you get this sort of weird bond between her and White Bull, and you're never sure what he wants to do with it. He's now seems to have cut his ties with his own warrior band, and he's doing his own thing. He wants that horse more than he wants her, more than he wants anything. He wants that bloody horse. So you get a wonderful sequence. I'm probably missing bits out here, but what does it matter? Martin Sheen, Pike, loving his horse, loving his thing. He's talking to it all the time, like, and comes with like a little a pond. So gets his canteen out. He's gonna go and fill it up, and it's like he takes his the jacket off, the buckskin jacket now. Throws his saber. I'm gonna say right now, the mistreatment of that saber is unreal, and this is another thing which I think they clearly have done it on purpose. I think he says that I wasn't cavalry, I was a regular foot soldier. He has no idea how to use that saber. He plants it in the ground, you know, which you don't do. You see it in movies all the time. I know, like even in Braveheart, you don't do that. You're gonna foul the blade. You don't do it. You don't do it at all. He throws it from horseback, throws it onto rocks. That bloody sword's knackered. He's knackered his saber. But I think there's a point to why they're doing that. I think that's the way I'm trying to, you know, get head around it. And he gets this pond, gets his canteen out. Nothing can sneak up on around us. Nothing can sneak up on us around here. And he puts the jug in, and out the blue, Sam Waterston just comes out the water with a fucking rock and goes, "Fuck off!" Boof! And throws him into the water. Gets up with his loincloth, showing his little arse cheeks, and gets on the horse, eagle's wing, and rides off. He's won the horse, and it's a great shock moment, but it's also so beautifully filmed. They're like, you know, Martin Sheen comes out, he's got like fucking blood coming down his face. It's like, jeez, and he's completely, you know, at a loss, in shock. Gets his saber, and in a great shot, he comes round the rocks. It's like he sees him riding off, and he's like, and then he hears a horse struggling, and he goes over another little rise. And what the Indian's done, Sam Waterston, White Bull, has left him his horse with its hooves tied together, lying in a little hollow. So he's took the horse he wanted, but he hasn't left him disabled out in the wilderness and the desert. He's left him a horse for survival. It's a strange sort of dichotomy, and this will play out. It'll get fouled up, but it'll play out throughout the movie, the rest of the movie. So like Martin Sheen just goes like, he's waterlogged and he's probably concussed as hell, like, and there's the horse, and he's like, all right, but you know, one man took him. By God, one man will take him back. So then you've got the pursuit. Pike's going to go after the Indian to go get Eagle's wing back. Oh, by the way, it's cut. It's Harvey Keitel says like the Comanches that are going to meet. Oh, you'll know the guy. He's got this horse, because they're saying that the late when it turned up, nothing can stop him. You know, even if he was sick, you know, he'd still make the ride to meet us. his horse, it's like an eagle's wing. That's where you get the line from, and the name. It's like an eagle's wing. No one can catch you. But of course they do. He gets killed. But the horse still takes him off to, his own funeral pyre. And then the rest becomes this movie. And so like, he's now going to go after, Sam Waterston, who goes back to Caroline Langrish, his prisoner. And in a great moment, he struts around on the horse. He's like, and he's doing woo, woo, all these war whoops and that, like, and it's brilliant. And like, he's strutting and like dead proud. And she is actually kind of like, that's impressive, And the bond between those two kind of grows. It's strange, the sort of the symbiotic relationship between the hostage and the captor is well known and well documented, and especially, in fact, it was probably really brought to bear and studied with white women who were taken hostage by, or taken captive by, Native Americans, who then had a life of misery and hell and torture, but then became part of the tribe, and then wouldn't want to leave when rescue turned up. They become brainwashed into the, well, not brainwashed, they just become part of it, part of the tribe, and love their customs, and have been accepted after their trial by fire, literally in some cases. So he's seeing it in sort of like very quick terms. But I think Judith's character is a strange one, because she's clearly a rebellious girl herself, and she's not massively terrified of this guy. It's almost like she knows he's not going to hurt me. I don't want to be here. It's a bit uncomfortable. Because at first he's dragging her. He's got the Travoy, and he's riding, and he's got all his booty, he's got, well, she's the booty, but all the treasures on this, and she's like being pulled and all that, like behind, and then she falls over, and he then, this is early on, he then, drinks some of this, and she does, from the broken neck of a bottle, and he sees something of it, maybe a kindred spirit. She's a bit rebellious. He's definitely rebellious and renegade to his own people, because the whole thing about like his warlord, his war chieftain, has gone like, you look after that. We destroyed that wagon trail, you take care of it all. We're gonna sod off, because a couple of Indians get killed in that sequence as well. By the way, I should have said that. Anyway, cheers, y'all. You're hearing the horse's hooves. As I say, you can't get the soundtrack for this movie officially. So on YouTube, you've got a massive suite of music taken from the DVD or a TV broadcast or whatever. An isolated score and a little bit of scuffing of boot heels and maybe a whoosh of an arrow. So anyway. He's got the horse now, he's happy, she's reasonably happy, and Martin Sheen's really pissed off. But he's got another little horse there now, but I'm going to go after you, you bastard, you heathen bastard. And the priest has gone back, her brother's gone back to the hacienda, and has now warned them and said, like, look, there's a whole bunch of people out there, the widow and her handmaidens are there, we've got to go and rescue them, and Indians have took everything else. So, although he goes there and he tells them all this, we don't see him again, but two guys ride out, two Mexicans ride out to go and rescue these people. Oh no, I think a load go out and then take them back, but two of them carry on because they realise all the treasure has been taken by this Indian, so we're going to go after him. So you get another pursuit taking place. It's crazy how the whole thing comes together, and although it sounds like it should be like really action-packed, there's lots of moments where it's very quiet and very, look at the landscape, let's just think about what just happened here. And without even saying any words, The only guy speaking, by the way, is Martin Sheen. He has a lot of, he speaks out loud, which is the only dialogue you've got in the movie. Once Harvey Keitel's gone, you've got nothing else really. Just Martin Sheen saying, you know, you heathen bastard and all that, like, you know. And so these two Mexicans come on. One of them, by the way, is was he called Zola from Romancing the Stone? He's the guy that gets his hand bitten off by the crocodile. Yeah, it's him. It's Zola. And so he's in it as well. And there's other familiar. The other Mexican guy he's with is dead familiar, but I didn't write his name down. By the way, that guy's name is Manuel Ojeda, or probably Manuel Ojeda. It'll be for Romancing the Stone. You've also got George Luke. George Luke is a Mexican-American actor who played Kinete in one of my favourite westerns of all time. The Burt Lancaster, Richard Jekyll, Bruce Davison, savage Apache western, Ulzana's Raid. And George Luke plays Kinete, who's Burt Lancaster's ex-US cavalry scout, who's now like a mercenary come scout for the army. He'll have his last stand in his fabulously brutal fucking. I've reviewed it big time on the channel. I massively love it. But George Luke, who's in this movie, plays and Ulzana's Raid came out a few years before, 1974. This is 79, so it's a little bit older. And do you know what? I've watched this film loads, and I still can't work out. He plays. Let's see who he plays. Red Sky. I don't know who he is in it. I've got a feeling that he's the guy that tells White Bull, Sam Waterston, like after they take out the funeral cortege. Once they take that out, and a couple of Indians have died, and he's got them over the back horse. He's like, you stay and sort that out, basically. I think that's him, because the other two Comanches, who will come back into it in a few minutes, I promise you, they're coming into it again. Once you see them, he's not one of those two, and yet he's wonderful in Ulzana's Raid. He's brilliant. And anyway, so he's in this movie as well. But so you've now got a couple of Mexicans who've gone out after, like, they've rescued the widow and her handmaidens. They've taken them back, but two of them go out following the trail after the Indian, after who's took all the treasures. And there's nefarious reasons for that, of course, you know. So, and obviously, Martin Sheen's on the warpath now. I want that bloody horse back. So you will have, the rest of the movie will be a combination of the Mexicans pursuing and finding bits of artifacts and that, like camp trails and things that the Indians flung aside. And you'll have more battles between Martin Sheen and an arrow going whoosh there. You have a great sequence where Sam Waterston knows this guy's coming after him again. So he's like, oh Jesus, you know, I'm gonna have to like take this guy out. He starts going through all the treasures, and you've got like, I think it's like candelabra, a little sort of table candelabra with ornate glass pieces, glass shards which go around, you know, the light, obviously. He takes one of them and he fashions a special arrow for it, and it's got this barbed glass piece at the end of it. Like he's twining it around with his teeth, twirling it around. And you've got like you're hearing the music right now. In fact, I might take this back a second because it's great music here. Martin Sheen's just following the trail, and then suddenly he just sees there's the Indian on Eagle's wing, just fucking coming at him. And it's like, oh shit! He hides between. I'm gonna take this back. Just take it back. He hides in a boulder park, puts his head down. And you see Sam Waterston ride past, and he goes like, he thinks he's got away with it, so he rides off like, isn't it? It's a bit really weird because he's pursuing this guy, but the Indians come at him again, and he's kind of like, oh shit. His rifle's knackered, by the way, at this stage. It's been crunched on. He rides up thinking, I've got away with it. Yay! Do, all jovial and country. What-ho! And he sees the Indians in front of him again on a rise, and he's like, shit. Because the Indians on Eagle's wing, fucking super fast, warp drive. So he's like, oh shit, panics, rides around another little depression, tries to come up somewhere else. But all the way, the Indian, Sam Waterston, gets the upper ground, and suddenly he's stuck in the middle of a hollow, and he's just like, listen to this. And he's like, fucking hell, you know, I'm stuck here. And the Indian's just there, like, looking at him. Bow and arrow come up. And he's just like, well, shit. Brings out his saber. And White Bull fires that special arrow into his left leg. And it's... Now, I'll stop here to discuss this moment. That arrow he's made there with this glass piece, thick glass it is, he's carved it down. Oh no, he's not carved it down, he's took it off and it's already carved and attached it to the arrow itself. Indians would use barbed arrows, the reason being, put it into your chest, your gut, your thigh, which is where he hits him, in the thigh, and you can't get it out. You cannot get it out because it's barbed. I've got books on how US cavalry and frontiersmen learned how to put hooks and lines down the arrow shaft and begin to twine and bring the barbed arrow back out, ripping your leg to fucking shreds, or whatever limb it's gone into. But you've got to get it out there, haven't you? So you're going to lose that limb at some point. It's just the way it's going to be. But that's the whole point of it. In this film, he has this glass, this lovely ornate glass but barbed piece of glass, and fires it into it. It's a great shot as well, literally a great shot. Because and when I was a kid, I was like, how do they do that? It's in one take. He just goes, lets it go, and it goes down like a line into Martin Sheen's leg, and he goes, oh, all in one take. And then he's like, and Sam Waterston just on the rise, just sort of like, yeah, I don't want to kill you, but I've disabled you now. You're gonna stop following me now, aren't you? And then rides off again. But like, Martin Sheen just goes, oh, and falls off the saddle. And then you see him, and it's gone right through his leg. Are we talking the World Trade Center here, where like suddenly the nose cone of a plane could go straight through you know what I'm talking about. He wouldn't have done that. He would have gone in and if it's gone through his leg, it'd have gone into the saddle or the horse that he's sitting on. It would have gone and penetrated that. It couldn't have stopped. So it's a bit of it in a film where there's a lot of authenticity and realism for weaponry and the way that weaponry is. On that note, he has a pistol as well, which he doesn't use. It doesn't work at all. You see him. He's got the horse. Is it Eagle's Wing or is it Earlier Horse? I can't remember now. It's night time, and he's trying to put rounds into the chambers, and it's not working at all. And he's got it's like, what? Do you want to try this? We're having a good day here. He's like, fuck it. You can't do it, and because it is awkward, like. So it's authentic when it comes to the weaponry. But this, I always think, no, that shouldn't. In reality, if you've made that arrowhead out for your arrow, that's the design is to go into your leg and you can't get it out. You can break the shaft off, but it shouldn't have gone through the side. But because he pulls himself off the horse, he breaks the shaft, pulls the shaft out, and then breaks this ornate glass arrowhead out of the other side, and then tourniquets himself, and then has a major limp. Now, here's something else that I have a huge affinity with. Sounds bizarre, but a lot of my heroes, Mad Max, Snake Plissken, Pike, and many others, end up with a limp, but they still go on. It's a great figurative, illustrative way of showing people can overcome any adversity and just keep on going. In reality, if you're like, he would die out there. He would die out there. There's no two ways about it. That wound will fester. He's fucked right royally. Plissken, yeah, his leg's fucked. Good style. Mad Max, kneecapped. Yeah, you're fucked, mate. You pretty much are fucked. I'm just laying it out there. But I do love seeing my heroes always seem to develop a real bad limp, and they start dragging their leg, you know, like I don't know. For me, it resonates a lot, and I've had limps many times. Having, you know, don't forget. I'll go into it all. The escape and evasion when I fell up the tree and knackered that knee there. This one, see that one there? That knee, and that cost me a lot. That did. And did the Hunter Force take pity on me? No, they didn't. No. Oh, is your knee hurt? Boot. Stamped on it. They did. God. Both we're all mates now. So he puts a tourniquet around it and all that, but he's not going to give up. And the Indian now, another piece, Judith runs away after one of the many encounters that Sam Waterston has with Martin Sheen. He comes back and she's not there, and you cut to a shot of her running. This is quite bizarre. There's a rope around the neck, which is cut loose, but it's still around the neck. And you see her running. And her hands are behind her back. Now, someone can stop me here and it's like, well, you can't, can you? But you know, you can highlight it down below. Her hands are behind her back, looking like she's tied. Her hands are tied, but she's obviously wearing the big old dress with the big hoop skirts and all that. And she's running with her hands behind her back, and he's just realised she's gone. And then she comes across like the carcass of a coyote with all vultures on it, and she goes, ah, and her hands go, ah. Now, in many films where someone's hands are tied behind their backs, I'm thinking Blue Thunder, and what's his name? Stern from Home Alone. He's a Jamf, just another motherfucker. His hands, the Roy Scheider Blue Thunder movie, awesome movie. His hands are tied behind his back, and he makes a run for it down the streets, and he hits a guy on a bicycle, and of course, in a stupid sequence, you know, they should have got around this somehow. His hands come out, and the stuntman falls down with two hands, and then gets up again with his hands tied behind his back and runs off again, and then gets hit by a car and killed. But murdered. But in this, I'm not sure if her hands are meant to have been tied or because you see her with the bottle and she's been drinking loads. So, but is she running with her hands? Maybe she's got, you know, the old style clothing. You have a bun behind her back sort of thing. But the dress is all hooped up. And maybe she's running like that. You never run with your hands behind your back. You run with your fucking hands like that. Like that, you know. But you know, if you're gonna go down, you know, and but the hands come up and she starts screaming, ah, and he suddenly arrives and he saves it, and he's not angry with her at all, and he scoops her up and he puts her on the back of the horse, and she's not angry either. She's not like, oh God, he's caught me again. The two of them are bonded. She's made a break for it and then realised, you know what, I'm better off with him. I can't stand, you know, vultures and dead coyotes and running around because an encounter with a scorpion as well earlier on. So there's all this, you know, the outdoors, the great outdoors. But so he takes her back again, And you know, he strokes her face, he gives her water and strokes her face, and like, you know, strokes her hair. And she, as I said before, she's an incredibly gorgeous girl. I'm surprised she didn't go on to a lot more greater known things, but yeah, look at the drawing, isn't it? And I don't know, there's a transition where, did they actually have sex? I don't know. You don't see it. It's not conveyed as much, but there is a sort of an after. He takes her back to their little camp, and he strokes her face again, and blah blah blah. And it goes dark, and then sort of you're kind of thinking, yeah, the way I'm describing it now, you're thinking, yeah, they've done the deed, and she's lying there, and she's kind of a bit flushed in the cheeks, like she's been drinking whiskey like me, and people think I've had sex all the time. I haven't. I just drink whiskey all the time, and he's happy as well. As happy as he can do, you know. He doesn't crack a smile. I'm going to talk about Sam Waterston's portrayal. Don't worry, I'm going to get into that. Like, it's important. Do remind me. And so, have they bumped uglies? I don't know, but their bond is definitely there. She realised he's not going to hurt her. He doesn't know why he took her. I don't think, because he's a pisshead as well. You know, he's forever because he's got loads of like bottles from the funeral cortege. He's got loads there. He's like So the old Native American cliche, which sadly isn't a cliche. It actually they were plied with it, and my God, I feel such an affinity. Cheers, all First Nationers. So, the finale. The two Mexicans are now hot on the trail. Pike, Martin Sheen's hot on the trail, finding campfires and like a banjo. He finds a broken banjo, which is all the stuff he's nicked. And he's like, my God, what kind of heathen are you? If I find a grand piano, we might do a few minstrel songs. He's told Harvey Keitel, I've worked for a slave trader, I've been on trawlers, I was in a minstrel band. What the hell? So there's a lot going on, and it's all gonna come together in a finale where Sam Waterston realises that they're still after me. I've done everything I can. I've took his leg out, but the guy's still coming. You know, God, he wants this horse, something chronic. And I've got all this crap here, all this fantastic treasures. So he starts hanging them, like trinkets, rings, earrings, gold, chains, bracelets, you know, on trees and that, like. And he poisons a river as well, a little pond. They come across a pond, him and Judith. So he gives her water, and then he realises, hang on a minute, these fuckers are behind me as well, like so, right? And you see a silhouette of him, a shadow of him, and he sprinkles something in. Well, we don't know what it is, unless I've missed something earlier on. I don't know, but obviously his medicine bag has got some poison in there as well. Throws it in. So next thing you know, like Martin Sheen turns up, gasping, and he goes, oh. And he sees a dead frog floating upside down. He's like, because clearly Milado's poisoned the little pond. Now, Martin Sheen sees these trinkets hanging in trees, treasures, and but he's not stupid, you know. And which is the thing about when you first met him and Harvey Keitel. Henry is the professional, and he's the guy that's just a flyby, a maverick. But clearly, he's got a lot of savvy. It'd be great to know really what his backstory was, but that's the beauty of this movie. It's the ambiguity. You don't know. You only know them in this snapshot of this particular escapade. But these two Mexicans come up, and one's a real twat, they meet the real Comanches who are meant to do the trade, you know, and the ones who are following the ones who are meant to do the trade with our fur trappers, and they see them on the horizon, and like the guy that gets his hand bitten off in Romancing the Stone, he's like, he's dead nervous, and this other guy's like, oh no, amigos, you know, and two Comanche approach. It's like, oh, you know, lovely weather, you know, look at the blue sky, you know, like, and they're going like, these two Comanches are, well, they're a bit naff, aren't they, really? Because suddenly, bang, bang, fucking kills the both of them. And this other guy's like, oh, jeez, why'd you do that, you know? Only Mexican, you know, and so they're dead. So that's one strand of chase is destroyed. But these two Mexicans then go after the treasure, basically, and they keep finding all these things. But what Sam Waterston's doing, you know, I'm going to lead you a trail of all these, but I'm going to put booby traps here as well, like the poison in the little pond. But I'm going to do other stuff as well, because I'm the progenitor of Johnny Rambo. You know, I'm going to leave booby traps for you motherfuckers, you know. And you're greedy cunts, you know. Possessions, again, there's the whole thing about it. It's possessions, the greed. Ignore things. Oh God, I don't want to go on tangents again. You know, you don't pick up anything, no matter where you are. Whatever shiny thing there is there, and don't kick a can. Don't pick a stone up. Don't boot anything. Just walk around things. Don't touch anything. But you know, a Rolex could be hanging there, or like, no, don't. Oh God. So, and this is the exact same thing. So, the Mexicans are giving it loads, and they're taking everything. It's a very mystical sort of moment as well. Like the music's very sort of quasi ecclesiastical and like dreamy, and like all these pendants and gold and bangles, and they put them into the bags and all that, like, and this other guy, one of them is massively, I want all this shit. The one who killed the two Comanche. The other guy's like, he suddenly turns and he's like, oh, I'll go and get that, like, and this other guy's like, okay, and like, there's like an off-screen kill, poof, you know, he gets taken out. But what you've got is Martin Sheen sees this, you know, the pendant that was taken off the widow when they made her take a big major gown off, and her undergarment was on. Not very sexy. You see, she is a gorgeous woman. Let's be honest, but they don't go there, and they don't go there, and this gorgeous necklace comes out. Well, that's hanging there, and you see Martin Sheen. He sees it, and he's like, he wants it. Oh, he wants it, or he does. And like a bit like Predator in Predator, with the spikes, you know, like he goes and sees Arnie. I'm not gonna go this way. I'm gonna go round the other way. Exactly the same. And Martin Sheen just goes like, that's too obvious, you know. And he looks around and he sees there's the Indian's knife is there, so it's going to be a big booby trap. So he doesn't touch it, off he goes. I'm going to sneeze, folks. Mind over matter. I'm not going to sneeze. But big fat Mexican greasy bastard comes up, like, and he's like, he sees Martin Sheen getting onto his horse again on a ridge, and he's got a little shotgun type thing, and he's like, and he just sees something glinting and goes, and of course it's this pendant. So he grabs it and like, whoosh, the knife goes, whoa, he's like, he's fucking killed. So now we've only got our main protagonists, and the finale is fantastic. I'll be honest, it's beautifully well done. Right. Our Indian realizes that this fucking guy will not leave me alone. He wants this horse. He's like he's thinking like, you know, the guys on the bus in Speed. You know, this guy's got a real hard on for this bus. You know, this guy will not leave this fucking horse alone. Jesus Christ, you know. And he's coming up after him. And he survived all me poison and all the fucking traps. Oh Christ! And he lets the girl go. Ah, fuck this. And the two of them have a duel. They have a duel on horses. And what I love about this movie is, again, I'm going to talk about Sam Waterston in particular in a bit, but he has a lance. Native Americans and across most horse tribes, there were some tribes that didn't have horses at all. But he has a lance as well. He has a shield, he has a lance, he has bow and arrow, he has knives, he has all sorts of stuff like. And he uses that lance, and the two of them, a saber and a lance, have a duel, and it's a great little battle. You can imagine it in cinema these days. There'd be far more sort of stunts and, you know, crazy violence and choreography, but this is quite raw and works superbly well. And they're getting done in, and they're charging around each other on horseback and all that. And the lance goes into like Harvey Keitel, Martin Sheen's gut. He's like, ah, oh, Jesus! And he comes around with the saber, and he cuts the back of White Bull. It's like, oh! And the way it comes around, the way he turns around in the shot, you see like slash across his back, and he sort of like plays dead like that. And our boy comes charging up, and the lance comes up and fucking takes him off his horse. And you know, the battle goes on, but then he obviously bugs out, goes up a big, massive hillside to a huge peak, Boulder Park like, but huge big peak. And our boy like just gets up, like, you know, he's fucking done in now. His leg's knackered, you know, he's been battered and bruised, but he's still got that trusty saber and that desire for that eagle's wing white stallion. And he climbs up the hill, and he's chasing. And what White Bull's doing, White Bull's going slowly winding up and down the hill, and like looking back and teasing him the whole time. And this guy's coming up, and he will encounter Caroline Langerish, Judith, and because he's freed her. I should say he has now freed her, because look, the horse is the main thing now. I don't need you. I want a horse. You can make your own stories up about that if you want to, but he wants his horse more than he wants the girl, the white girl. So she's left, and our boy will bump into her on the side of this cliffside, this mountainside, and she goes, help me, please help me. But he's so obsessed now. He just, with his saber and blood loss, and he's just like, he just stares at her like, ignores her. I don't know about you. Don't care about you. And off he goes, and in a beautiful sequence of massive overkill, with his saber, any innocent sagebrush, he's like, fuck off, fuck. Just keep walking. You're wasting time. He's getting away, you know. But it's outstandingly well done, and it's so emotional as well, because Sam Waterston, White Bull, gets over the crest, has one final look down, goes over the ridge, and our boy, well, let's get to it. It's all, this is the little battle they have. But as he's going up this hill, like Martin Sheen's amazing in this. You really feel this obsession that he's got. This is their fight. This is the clash of the lance and the saber. I say some guy has extrapolated the music from the movie as best he could, but he has missed out some really crucial bits which I really wish he'd got. But it is the way it is. Someone somewhere is going to release this at some point. They've got to. And they get to Martin Sheen finally gets to the top, and again puts the fucking saber in the deck and all that, like, and you just see him with the big sky behind him, and this is him climbing. And tears come down his face, and he looks down, and you can see that White Bull is just gone down right the other side of the mountain, and gone right across the plains, and it's just taken off on Eagle's wing, and just like, you know, cock a hoop, you know, you've got no chance now. Ta-da! It's been fun. Woo! I'm off. And like Martin Sheen is just tears come down. I knew you'd do this. He stands there, and like Judith just said to him, "Help me, please help me." He stands there at the top of this crest of the ridge, seeing his dream go, and he starts crying. He goes, "Help me, please, help me." And I get it. He's just repeated what she said, and he ignored her. It's about the unobtainable, chasing a dream, and having it, and then it goes, you've lost it. When I was a kid and I watched it, I didn't understand why I got so emotional about it. I didn't. I thought this is not the Magnificent Seven. This is not the Good, the Bad and the Ugly. This is not action-packed. There's a lot of action in it. There is a lot of action in this movie, don't get me wrong. But there is a lot of languid, lyrical moments as well. But come the end, when I first saw it, and I was recording it, live on Betamax, and that ending. And me and my dad, big Kill Papa, of course, love westerns, hates Americans in war movies, hates Americans in war at all, but he loved American westerns, loved Clint Eastwood, loved Snake Plissken as well. I've said many times, and we watched this, and I know he felt it too. I was crying. And I didn't know why. I thought, I don't understand why I'm upset. The Indians got away with it, and isn't that great? And I actually applauded that. But our boy, he hasn't got the horse. But it was the help me. Please help me. I thought, what? Go on, you've said a man can make his fortune out here. You can live out here, no one will ever touch it. He says that sort of thing to the horse, actually, earlier on. But some films, even when you're young and you don't really get all the connections, they resonate. They get inside and they mean something to you. They become emotional, and they become part of the fabric of your filmic canvas of life. And let's face it, that's why we're all here. That's why we're all talking about movies all the time. You know, they mean something to us. They can be fun, flying away stuff, which we can destroy. Critics destroy them. But certain films, we won't go into the obvious ones, of course. But even these lesser ones mean a lot. They have a power. This film is not it's not one of the great westerns. It's a wonderful film, and it's a bizarre, clever, intelligent western. But it's not a great western. It's not in the vein of Sergio Leone or John Ford. It's not that level. But it's its own thing. It's its own weird oddity. And because of that, it stays with you. I know people that have seen this sort of I've mentioned it a few times here in pub discussions, and people got it wrong. Is that the one with James Garner? You go, no, that's Juliet Diablo, or One Little Indian, and they go, oh yeah, the camel, yeah, that's One Little Indian, and but people they do remember it from TV broadcasts. No one ever saw it at the flicks. No one ever saw it in this country that I know at the flicks, and yet it was critically applauded. Rank Film Organisation, who funded this, had such little respect for it when they saw it. They didn't show it in any of their own cinema chain. That's garbage, isn't it? That is absolute garbage. The film won awards and has gone on to become a bit of a cult favourite. Martin Sheen is excellent in it. Caroline Langrishe is excellent in it. John Castle is, in a brief, albeit brief, he's great. I should say there is a great little sequence which combines him and Martin Sheen's character. Martin Sheen's Pike's having a little, he's bedded down for the night again, and he hears thundering hooves. It's night time. He hears thundering hooves, and it's like fucking, and a horse goes pell-mell across the ridge he's on, and then down the other side, and he gets up like, who are you? Help me! Stop! And then he thinks, Henry? Is that you, Henry? As in Harvey Keitel's ghost, a ghost rider? Is that what he's thinking? That's what he's thinking. It's actually John Castle, the brother of Judith, the priest, who's going back to the hacienda to get help. It's actually him going across. So it's a beautiful bit of let's connect it all together. But it's still, for the characters, it's still ambiguous. Like, what the hell was that? Because Martin Sheen will never know that. Unless he goes back to meet, Judith on the way back down, trudging with a limp back down. Martin Sheen's tremendous in it. There's a real sense of depth and character to him. A sense of rage, a sense of like a ebullition, and when he's got the horse, there's a phrase, what ho. I may have mentioned this before, I forget now. It's been so long. It's been almost an hour and a half now since I started this. A phrase, what ho. What ho is a very English, Scottish and Irish term. What ho! And it could be a challenge, it could be a greeting. And I've used that a lot. I don't think I've used it much on the channel, but people that know me know I walk into a pub and go, what ho! Yeah. And or even just what ho, in a very always a posh English way of doing it. English cavalry, don't you know? What ho, my good chap! You horrible dervish, you! No, get off my sword. Slide slowly off it now. But I got it from this movie, because Martin Sheen's character says it several times. What ho! And it's again, it's a challenge or it's a greeting, and I think it's just brilliant. Another great character trait. Sam Waterston, Capricorn 1, Killing Fields, fucking loads. Native American Indian. No. And yet, does it really matter? Oh, I know you're going to go, oh, well, no, well, okay, in the wokey world that is today, it should be Native American. Well, yeah, well, anyway, it isn't. It's him. And you know what? You have got Native Americans playing Native Americans in this movie, in the other roles you have. But he does not look Native American. They've got the big, mad, black, long, lank wig on him. And he put war paint on him. And he does this thing with his teeth. He's like, oh, hurry up. Oh, I need a bit of highlight on my teeth, don't I? Can't do it. His lower teeth come out a lot. And he's indefatigable and defiant and whatever. And but he works. He only ululates a chant and sings like once, but never says another word after that. Never says another word. He's topless throughout almost the majority of the movie, apart from when he's wearing Pike's cavalry jacket, which he's obviously nicked as well because he was never cavalry, And he's in good shape. And his stoic approach and the way he looks at Judith. He's a bloody good actor, because it's clever that you kind of are terrified that he's going to do something horrible to her, and then you kind of realise very quickly that he's not going to do that. He might still be a bit sort of brutish, but you can see that there's a burgeoning affection there, which works. And she feels that maybe she's doing the thing that I've got to try to appease him, make him happy, so I'll be safe and keep me alive. This is what happens. But again, that is a very sort of fragile path, and Caroline Langrish does it really well, because she turns on a dime. She might run off at one stage, but she's really happy when he's made up, and it comes across. She's having a life of misery with her brother, and she's going to face an even worse life of subservience. So she's like, well, can I be any worse off with this guy? This is a life of adventure. So, kind of works. What I will say is, this is important. It's a film about horses. Right, Martin Sheen and Sam Waterston ride their horse. They are riding those horses 99% of the time. Martin Sheen falling off the horse onto pretty hard ground. No matter how you dress it up, that was him falling off the horse with the arrow in his leg onto the hard ground. Martin Sheen can ride a horse. He looks, his little short arms, a little bit portly, perhaps to certain eyes, but he rides that horse really well. Sam Waterston rides the horse well. He looks amazing on the horse a lot of the time. A lot of the old paintings of the Frontier West, do you know what? I didn't write the names down. I should have done it. I knew I was going to mention this. Old paintings of paintings from the 30s, 40s, 50s, so obviously way after the event. They're very stylized and a lot of very sort of almost abstract of desert landscapes and rocky canyons and Indians, and the horse is on a slant like that, and the Indians like this, and there's all spears, shields, lances, and all sorts of weaponry and feathers. And it's kind of you can't quite see what it is. It looks really bizarre. They capture that. The way that he rides the horse, and the way that Billy Williams films this, and the way it's edited together, it looks, the way he comes chopping down, they're on an angle. It captures those old, oh God, I wish I could remember the names of the artists. It captures those images really superbly. However, one must say, mustn't one, that Sam Waterston can't control that horse. Eagle's Wing itself. When he's riding it, Eagle's Wing, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the fact that it's rocky terrain, it's up and down, it's bold, it's pebbles, it's really, it's all over the show. And he's an actor, not a horse wrangler, horse rider. But you watch, he'll have some great, sort of, he's coming down, like the scenes I just mentioned, and he's looking like those paintings. Brilliant. And then, so the horse has got a turn, and the horse starts chopping and jumping and leaping, like it's doing like decortage and all that. Like it's doing, like it's in a stadium, it's doing prancing stuff, it's jumping, and that's not speed, that's not aggression, that's not like he's coming after you. The horse is fucking playing about. Maybe you could say that he and the horse are really in cahoots. Maybe because he does taunt, his aggressors, his pursuers, he taunts them and lets them off as well. Like maybe, I don't know. I'm not buying into that. If you watch the film, there's many scenes of him riding that horse where the horse is doing this sort of, topsy-turvy sort of, it's having fun. It's just jumping about, and like it's meant to be pursuing at high speed. And this horse is like, don't forget, it's Eagle's Wing. This horse is like fucking whoop factor 10, But he does it really well. I'll be honest. I know there'll be a backlash now. Me even just talking about this movie now, I suppose people go, well, it should have a Native American playing the part. Well, in the history of westerns, you've had all sorts playing everybody. That's the way it goes. It is just the way it goes. It is a great film. Mystical. Despite what it says on the cover, the West, the way it really was, before the myths were born. Bullshit. This is pure myth. It's such a mythological horse tale that it should be told to everybody, or your grandkids, and like, just gather around, kids. There was this horse called Eagle's Wing, and the duel that was fought, and you can imagine that to be fair, the duel, there's a real mad sort of super chaos going on there. You can imagine this horse is going to inspire a hell of a lot more friction. Wherever he goes afterwards, there's going to be shit, going down. So what ho! Right, folks. What I was going to say. Oh yeah. There were many British westerns. Did I say this before? Captain Apache, Chato's Land, Michael Winner, and Charles Bronson. Hanny Calder, Raquel Welch. The Hunting Party, Oliver Reed. Shalako. That was Sean Connery. It was Sheriff Sean Shalako. Filmed at Shepperton Studios, because it was filmed at Shepperton Studios. Kenneth Moore in the Sheriff of Fractured Jaw, and recently you've had Slow West, Michael Fassbender. So there's been obviously European westerns are massively well known. Italian spaghetti westerns. There's been German westerns. God, anyone can make a western. There's been Australian westerns, for fuck's sake, but British westerns, I don't know. They have the look and appeal of the traditional American western, but a bit more sort of character driven, a bit more artsy fartsy, a bit more, sort of, I don't know. There's something about a British made western which does make it stand apart from the American cousins. But this is right top of the league, not just in British westerns, but also any western. Cinematography is outstanding, editing is great. It's a PG in the UK, and it'll be a PG in the States, won't it? So there's no sexual stuff. It may hint at it, but it doesn't do any of that whatsoever. Bit of blood. We're not talking Alzheimer's raid here, with disembowelings and heart rippings. all in Durango. It took 9 weeks to film it there. Martin Sheen was obviously 79, so don't forget 79 was also Apocalypse Now. What a time he had! It's a film in 78, so I'm not too sure if he did this before Apocalypse Now or what. I don't know. I'm thinking beforehand, perhaps. What else? So we're looking at my little notes here. Yeah, I've covered it all. I'm going to put the link below to this movie. I've talked for longer than the film's on for, I think I have anyway. But do give it a watch. If you haven't seen it before, I've just given the ending away. I make no apologies. But I love westerns, and you know, there is something about the western which speaks to many of us. The frontier, pushing yourself, challenging yourself, not just the landscape, maybe lack of water, having to live off the land, but also hostile denizens that don't want you there. And you know, that's what's made the human race. We push boundaries and we go places where you shouldn't perhaps go. In today's world, you can't really talk about that anymore. Well, I just did, but you can't talk about that. And regular viewers will know that despite me wearing a US cavalry tunic, you can't see it now, it's gone so dark and dismal in here. And they've fallen off his head as well. I did put on some Sioux eagle feathers on the back of his head there, and they fell off. So let's say just really doesn't do it, Back in the old days, they just twined them into the hair, as I do with my own hair. But my heart lies with Native Americans, but my soul is with soldiers who may be given a job they don't want to do, but they still got to go and do it. And yet you can argue all you want. I've discussed this a gazillion times on this channel, but my heart is with both sides. The US government should never have stamped out the indigenous population, should never destroy the buffalo, and a genocidal verve is just, it's got to be condemnable, got to be. And yet, I still have this affiliation with US cavalry, more so than any American Civil War stuff. As people that know me will testify, I know next to nothing. I know a lot about the American Civil War, but I know a hell of a lot more about the American Indian Wars, which is a far more ramshackle sort of campaign. And yet, the way I grew up watching, well, They Died with Their Boots On, Errol Flynn and the Battle of the Big Horn, completely bogus, his version, obviously, but that took me into studying American Indian Wars in depth, various different campaigns, different states, and different regiments, and all sorts of weaponry, and how to deal with wounds and what happened to people, and the massacres, the various massacres that took place on both sides, and how it really happened and changed. But yeah, I don't know. When I watch westerns like this, it brings all these sort of flavours and ideas and passions that I've got come back to the fore. I really do think that I was there. That sounds bizarre. My first memory is of watching They Died with Their Boots On. Sitting on my mum's lap, They Died with Their Boots On, and Gary Owen playing which was the theme for Custer's 7th Cavalry. The film is great. It's a fantastic movie, but it's also completely fictitious about what the hell happened. And I've got innumerable books, fucking millions of books on it. Every single day I wear a US Cavalry belt, a genuine US Cavalry belt from 1878, I think it is, the one I've got. And I wear that around me kilt. Every single day I wear that. Are you wearing it now, Kilt-Man? No, I took it off, but it is here. It's right here. It's right here. And I have another one, which is actually better than this, and I got from, unbelievably, the Smithsonian many years ago. And I don't wear that one because, well, it's too prestigious, so I don't wear that. But anyway, so all I'm saying is, like, films like this ignite multiple passions within me, and the white man, the red man, I love both sides for various different reasons. I love both sides. So and this film epitomizes that. You don't want to see Sam Waterston, White Bull, to lose, and he doesn't. He wins. He gets the horse and off he goes. Nothing's to say that he's had so much grief so far that someone else just down the way is gonna just go and take him off and then take the horse. That's probably gonna happen. But you've got like Martin Sheen, he was a regular foot soldier, and I think what gets me about that is, like, you don't know his real backstory, and like Henry Harvey Keitel probes continually, you know, in the first 12 minutes you were kicked out and all, like, you know, what happened when they kicked you out, like, and you came out here and all, like, you drink in the morning and all this, blah 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 blah, and then they bond and it all works out. But something clearly did happen with him. I don't know. Eagle's Mane, folks, please watch it. So you've been hearing the score in the background. I can't ride a horse. You know, I go on about US Cavalry and I go on about like Westerns. I cannot ride a fucking horse. And believe you me, I've been on a couple of horses. No. Don't make your own stories up. I've always had my oats. No, I'm not good on a horse. I'm not good on a horse. I'm not good on a motorbike. I can't ride a motorbike. I can't drive a car. So what makes you think I can ride a horse? And I have ridden horses, and it's never ended well. Never. It's ended painfully for me. So I don't know. But I was saying, like before, I believe that I was there. My fascination with Little Bighorn, my fascination with Last Stands across the board is well, I've talked about it so many times on the channel. I'm sure I will again. But there is something about the Little Bighorn which breaks my heart, upsets me. I'm riveted. I need to know everything. I've not been there. I have not been to Little Bighorn. As Mrs. Kilt-Man will say, before I die, I have to go there. But she'll also say, which I've said many times, I don't want to take him there because I've always said I'm going to find the speck. I'm going to scour the land, and I'm going to find the speck, and then I'm going to know that's where I dropped, and I'm going to lie down and won't get up again. Melancholy, yeah. But I've felt that from a very, very early age. I've known this. Maybe this is why I've not gone there. I've been in America a couple of times. I've been many places in the States, but I've not gone. I've not gone to the site of Custer's Last Stand. Maybe it's because because I'm terrified that that's what's going to happen. Like this sure turned, didn't it? I'm not kidding though. I'm not kidding. I dream about that last stand. I dream about it. The smell, the fear, the blood, everything, the chaos. The very rapid last stands retreating up various hills, trying to make a break for it, trying to make a stand here, but you're getting whittled down by arrows, you're bleeding to death. I have this all the time, all the time. I don't know. The ruination of a nation. Whiskey. And disease-ridden mattresses, sheets, and rotten food. Yeah. And artillery and cavalry charges in the night. Yeah, it was a terrible, terrible, terrible time. But anyway, besides that, Eagle's Wing is absolutely amazing. I hope you go and watch it after this and report back to me. Report back forthwith. There's so much more I want to say. Marc Wilkinson, who did the score for this, Blood on Satan's Claw is one of the most eerie, fabulously folky. It's a fabulously folky horror movie. I've reviewed the movie as well, but the score is it is an indelible part of it. Who knew he could do this as well? Oh, I knew something else. There's a fuck up which films of this period, and even to this day, still do. You can hear the saber and the lance, hitting together. The metallic. You've got that. Swords, right? Sabers, rapiers, claymores, fucking whatever you've got. If you've got a scabbard and you bring it out, you might hear something. You might hear a whoosh. In this film, like many movies, he's lost his scabbard at one stage, and it's just hooked down his belt, just down his belt by his horse. Oh, when he brings it out, it still goes whoosh. Doesn't do that. Metal doesn't make that noise. When he's swinging it around, what ho? You got whoosh, and what? It's hitting fucking nothing but air, unless his handguard is loose. Then you'll get a bit of a ka-ching, That's the. That's where you get the air. Help me. Please. Help me. It gets me. I hope you understand that when you watch it. It should get you. It's a guy who's lost. He's lost. I was obsessed with that, and my dream is now gone. I'm seeing my dream run away. Think about it. How many of us have been there? Something that you wanted to do, you strive towards. The publishing deal I had, the 3-book deal, and they fucked up the first 2 books. And I won an award, but it still didn't. I don't know. That was my dream. I saw it just eclipse. That alien Nostromo iris, like that. Anyway, I have been and wish I'll be Kilt-Man, so please, in the meantime, in this ever, go west, young man, go west. But pack more than a single shot percussion, you know. And don't put your trust in horses. In between time, please, folks, just be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I'm going to see you all. And we've got a little unboxing in the next video. 2 unboxings. They're just right down there. Really small, but they're just right down there. Just try to throw that in there. Look at this. You know. That's wonderful. I do love the cross sabers. My tattoo, my favourite tattoo on this shoulder here, is a snarling werewolf face with 2 crossed commando daggers, Fairbairn Sykes daggers, true commando daggers, stiletto daggers, like that behind it, like. So the crossed daggers it's universal though, you know. And Stevie Boy Doherty. No, I'm not going like that to you. But there they are. He sent me these, and they are awesome. Just this fucker couldn't wear them properly. He's got no hair. Couldn't plait them in. Right, I'm out of here. Ta-ra, folks. Do comment below. Let me know what you think about Eagle's Wing. You may hate it. It is an unusual film. It is. For the genre it comes from, it's unusual. Not a bad thing though, is it? It's exciting, it's enthralling, it's clever, it's beautiful to look at, and the score is outstanding. Ta-ra! What ho!